Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. I think we have three maybe now.
Wow.
This week, Mark Gartner brings us back to this century. I was going to say the 20th century. The 21st century with the caper film Ocean's 11 from 2001 just made it over the line. I'm Frank Gaffney. With us is Joel. Nothing on the shirt, Joel.
It's purple.
That's it. So you're Barney today. Okay, good.
No, never Barney.
And Cringer. There they
I
go.
got Cringer on my shirt.
Annie King back from Orlando.
Donna.
And Mark Wotis Gartner has a picture up. Is that the Bellagio, the Mirage? What is that?
I think that's the Bellagio.
Bellagio. Okay. And is that the cast standing out front?
Yes.
Frank, did you watch the movie?
I did, but
It's like one of the best iconic scenes at the end of the movie.
is it iconic?
Very iconic.
All right, Mark. Why Ocean's 11?
I guess for me, this is the ultimate caper movie, ultimate heist movie. This is the granddaddy of all them. I don't think there's anything better. And in this house, this is an absolute remote dropper. I've seen this movie so many times, and often not from the beginning because, as Annie will tell you, it's a remote dropper. So you're 43 minutes in. Well, we'll just watch the rest of it.
All right, well, the basic plot, Danny Ocean is a man of action. Less than 24 hours into his parole, the wry, charismatic thief is already rolling out his next plan, following three rules: don't hurt anybody, don't steal from anyone who doesn't deserve it, and play the game like you've got nothing to lose.
And by the way, nobody looks that good coming out of prison, by the way.
Nobody looks that good in real life.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look that good anymore.
Yeah, really.
Danny orchestrates the most sophisticated, elaborate casino heist in history. That's the plot. Did anyone also notice that we just watched another George Clooney movie where he was in jail twice?
Yeah, it wasn't just another George Clooney movie. It
Don
was another
Cheadle.
George Clooney, Steven
Also,
Soderbergh movie.
Yes, Steven Soderbergh.
And Don Cheadle.
And Don Cheadle.
1998, Out of Sight. We just watched. So this entire movie is a retread of the 1960 film with the Rat Pack. Frank Sinatra was working Vegas and with his pals, and he thought making a movie while they were there would be a hoot. And I'm pretty sure that's the same reason this movie got made. Pretty sure. Joel, you watched both of them, right? So what, besides the title and the premise, are there any similarities?
No. Well, I shouldn't say no. There's Dan, when in the remake, when it says based on characters by George Clayton Johnson, and I forget the other guy's name, it's literally like really loosely based on characters, and it should be character, because the only character with the same name is Danny Ocean,
Right.
Sinatra's character in the original.
Sinatra, right?
Right. So it's literally the original is just about a group of 11 guys who served in
Korea. World War
It may have been Korea or World War II. We're not really sure. They don't really. It's the 82nd Airborne Infantry or something. They come up with, Danny comes up with this idea, or rather, this guy that he knows comes up with this idea to rob 5 casinos on the Strip at midnight on New Year's Eve, and that's what they execute. Names are different, characters are different. He does have a wife that he's having issues with, but that's Angie Dickinson. She's in like one scene and you never see her again. So
and she's in one scene in this movie too.
So it is a very different film, and it also feels like a product of its time. Because you can't replicate that camaraderie that the Rat Pack had to that specificity. But this film, does its best to do.
I think
it's got something going.
Brad Pitt are very, very fun together. The charisma is off the charts with those two.
Yeah.
But Don Cheadle. Don.
Oh.
Donnie joins the pantheon of good movie actors with horrible accents.
Which made him bad in the movie. The accent just overtook even to me his acting.
Yeah.
Right?
And he even admits that.
Well,
That's
the funny thing, and then so he wasn't even credited in the movie because when I'm doing my cards, I'm like, "Where's Don
Yeah.
Cheadle?"
What
So,
happened? I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, so it said that it was a dispute over billing because he wanted above the title billing with George Clooney, Matt Damon, Andy Garcia, Julia Roberts, and Brad Pitt. But when that didn't happen, he's like, I don't want to be credited at all then. But I think he was like, this accent is so bad. I don't want people knowing.
and yet he did 2 more movies.
And they made him do the accent, right? And then I read in the trivia, they added a scene where he's teaching someone how to fake an accent.
Yeah.
Teaching someone to fake an accent?
Yeah,
I would have made the scene that had an accent. It was a fake accent the whole time.
sure.
All right, so the movie is a fun but very predictable 2 hours. The storyline is no masterpiece of plotting. Watch out for the plot holes. But there's enough, fun. You keep us guessing. There's a little suspense and pretty harmless, lightweight movie. But $163 million divided by 11 is $14.8 million each. And the U.S. Treasury says that $1 million is 22 pounds. That means each one of them would have to carry 326 pounds out of the casino. Yeah, no, that did not happen.
I never did the math on that. That's very interesting. All right.
Yes.
What kind of an accountant are you?
Hello.
An
Now
honest
you see
one.
why you didn't get the job at Gardner.
Seriously.
And then the crew leaves all the equipment behind. Their fingerprints are on it, and they could trace all the equipment back to Ruben because it's all his stuff, the supplier. So they're going to get caught no matter what.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. There was a lot of comedy. I never really laughed out loud, but I was smiling a lot. One funny one was when George Clooney came out the second time and Brad Pitt says, I hope you were the groom. That made me laugh. I like a good gay joke. But file under cute, but went on too long, was the 5 actors being taught how to play poker, the TV actors being taught how to play poker by Brad Pitt. All right, quiz time. Where are they from? Holly Marie Combs is from
Charmed.
Picket fences.
At the time. Topher Grace.
That 70s show.
70s show.
Joshua Jackson.
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek, yeah.
Barry Watson.
Nobody cares.
No idea.
Kevin, which I never watched.
Oh.
And Shane West.
Nobody cares.
He was on once.
He was on ER. He was on ER, and he was in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
ER was later. At the time, he was on Once and Again, which was also a very good show.
Wasn't he also in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
I just said that. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that was later than this.
Yeah, no, I get that. No, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was not later than this. It was
2001. All right, Joel.
I don't remember.
Around the same time.
And of course, there are plenty of familiar faces. All the people I mentioned: Bernie Mac, and old timers for us, Carl Reiner and Elliot Gould, but really cute. And introducing Julia Roberts as Tess, very cute.
Joel, 2003.
All right.
Yeah, so I was right. And I read George Clooney sent the script to Julia Roberts, who he had not met before, with a $20 bill attached, and he said, "I hear getting 20 a picture now."
Yes.
But I mean, Steven Soderbergh and obviously George Clooney convinced all these people to come aboard. Steven had directed George Clooney before, obviously. Julia Roberts won her Oscar in a Steven Soderbergh movie, Erin Brockovich. And Don Cheadle was also in Traffic besides Out of Sight. So they knew each other. It was a big financial success. Steven Soderbergh directed 2 sequels. And there was a female one that he didn't do. Joel, did you get to all of them?
Yes, I did.
All right. You want to say something about that?
Now, sure. The sequels are almost as fun as the original. The second one, they're both longer by about maybe 10 minutes. The second one has a very European feel to it in the filmmaking because it
Are
Also,
they in Europe?
like, they're in Europe. The third one, the heist and how they pull it off is so over the top that there are moments where you're like, okay, I think they've run out of stuff.
Consequently, there was no fourth one.
Well, they've tried over the years, but then I think when Bernie Mac passed away, it was like, we're let's stop. The Ocean's 8, the spin-off with the ladies,
Right.
is also kind of fun. It's there's nothing really new or different about it other than the cast and what they're trying to pull off. It's got the same twists and turns where it's like, oh, they're actually doing something else at the same time. And
But Soderbergh was not involved in that one.
he was an executive producer. That's it.
He was not involved in that one. Machi, does the other two measure up for you as well?
No, the Ocean's 11 is definitely by far the best, and the 13 is 12 to me dips down a little bit. It's not bad. It's the weakest of them. The problem with 13, as Joel said, it's over the top and it's too much like the original, which is why I like it, but it's also too much of the same with being a little more ridiculous. It does have Al Pacino and what's her face?
Ellen Barkin.
Thank you. Which I know they were together in Sea of Love. I'm sure there's other connections there too. So that type of stuff was fun, but you have to be a fan to really enjoy the next two.
All right. Then I also read there was a connection to the MCU. Anybody?
Don Cheadle.
Well, Don Cheadle.
Well, no.
He's a Skrull here too.
They mentioned, yes. They mentioned, that explains the accent. They mention Bucky Buchanan is the guy who comes over and yells that he knows Saul. His name is Bucky Buchanan.
That's nice because there's no Bucky Buchanan in the MCU.
But it's funny that Danielle said the same thing. She said, isn't that what's his name's name?
Wait a minute. It says here.
No.
It's a nod to Captain America because Steve Rogers' friend is James Bucky Buchanan Barnes.
That's a
Bucky Buchanan.
That's a whole lot of nothing burger as far as I'm concerned.
I'm with Joel on this one.
His name is James Bucky Buchanan Barnes.
Yes, that's what Bucky's name is, but the guy that appears in this is like, who
Bucky
cares?
Buchanan.
Bucky Buchanan, whatever.
It's a tribute to Captain America.
Yeah, whatever.
It should have been Bucky Barnes.
Yeah.
I think our fan just left.
Yeah.
You know what I say? Buck you, Joel.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, so I'm giving this 3.25 stars. It's fun from beginning to end, but not much more than that. Goldfuck, what'd you think?
Well, I hadn't seen this movie since it first came out.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing it and liking it, but I also was looking at it all week as homework because I forgot we were doing Mark back-to-back movies. So I was thinking this was, and we're not even in the right week for it. I thought this was a 1998 homework week. I was like, I have stuff to watch on the DVR. I would never in reality stop and watch this fucking movie. So I was not looking forward to it as much as I remember liking it, but I really enjoyed it this time. I didn't take notes or anything. I was just smiling most of the time. I thought everybody was great except for Don Cheadle. It was just so much fun. The movie was so slick and so well done, I thought. So I just really enjoyed it. 3.5 stars. Easy.
Joel, are you 3.5 stars too?
Yep.
Wow.
If honestly, it'd probably get a little more from me if it weren't for the fact that Don Cheadle's accent is horrendous.
That's a whole quarter of a star off.
Yeah, but it's not just that. There's a few other things. It's the Malloy twins, the Malloy brothers running around the casino constantly and nobody noticing them. I'm just like, I've sat in casinos and you see this, even if they're in a different outfit the next day or something, you start recognizing people. If you're people watching, someone would have seen those two idiots.
Right, they're that weird.
Yeah. Especially since they're security guards for Carl Reiner, and then they're waiters, and then they're this, and then they're that, and it's like, oh no. But
And I also read that they originally wanted Luke and Owen Wilson,
yeah,
but they weren't available because they were doing the Royal Tenenbaums.
correct. But you know,
And then-
Scott Conn and Casey Affleck, I think they're fine in the parts. It's just that
Oh, they're hilarious, but I
Yeah.
do agree. I do agree. Yeah.
but it's a fun, polished piece of pop culture filmmaking that's just enjoyable. You know, it's not quite a remote dropper for me because I don't come across it that often, but you know, I've seen it a few times. I'd watch it again, and you know, 3.5 stars. So
Okay. Annie King, had you seen it before?
Yeah, many, 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 many times.
All
Like,
right.
yeah, like Mark said, if it's on, I'll watch it. I love a good heist caper movie. So same thing with Now You See Me. I'll just watch that all the time. Whenever it's on, I'll just, stop and watch it. So this one is great. I mean,
Note for Annie, put it on the 2024 schedule.
have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Just write that down.
well, thank God I don't have to put another movie onto my list.
Yeah.
I've already picked my list.
Oh, it's too early. Summer's not over yet. But no, it's
Wait, Annie, aren't you excited that you don't have to go back to school?
I certainly am. Yes. I'm like, oh, poor everyone has to go back next week or like set up their rooms. Not me. So
And you saying, suckers.
so yeah. But I love them together. They're so great. I think they're so great. I love that Brad Pitt is always eating
Yeah.
something. Just so funny. And
I read in the trivia that he said they were so busy all the time they didn't have time to eat. I'm like, please, Brad.
Yeah.
And that actually follows through at least into the second film. The third film, he's not eating as much. So
yeah.
You know, when you get older, it's hard to lose that extra weight.
right.
I also read that the one scene where Julia Roberts is coming down the staircase, he had to eat 40 shrimp.
Yeah.
But they had to do it and overdo it again and do it again and do it again.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I love it and I'll watch it anytime. So 3.75 for me.
Wow. That is good. All right, Mr. G, you have the picture up, so that's 3.5 right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll start off by saying I have never seen the original, and I won't at this point because I feel if I watch it, it's gonna feel dated. I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna be comparing it to this one, and which won't be fair to the original because I'm sure it has its parts that is great too. So I just don't. I can't bring myself to do it.
I was totally going to watch it, and then I looked it up, and it wasn't available anywhere. So I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's not streaming anywhere. I have it in the collection, but it's enjoyable. It is very much a period piece of its, you know, for its time at this point. And for me, the most entertaining thing about it isn't quite the Rat Pack, it's Cesar Romero. So it's
Okay.
you know,
of course it is.
well, because there's moments where he's laughing, and it's like that's where the laugh came from.
That's why they hired him.
Yeah.
Wait, what year did it come out?
60.
60. So
Oh, okay, so before Batman, yeah.
Yeah, it's before Batman.
Okay. I love everything about it. It's great cast, great dialogue. The dialogue is just like you said before. It's sharp. It's just slick. It's fun, funny. All the twists and turns. I love the fake names they have for their moves, like an Ella Fitzgerald, and they all know what it means. But they never explain it to you. They're all in on the joke, and you're not. I find it adorable.
That's great.
I love how the crowd surrounds Topher Grace and ignored George Clooney and Brad Pitt in the beginning, obviously because they're not famous, whatever. But it really was. It's just, to me, it's a wink and a nod. It's fun, and you could tell that they're having fun making this movie. It comes through. I love the Ruben recounting the 3 most successful casino robberies and showing it in real time. Don Cheadle, we don't need to go over again. Although the accent really doesn't bother me too much. To me, it's fine. And I'll end with the quote, "You think we need one more? You think we need one more? All right, we'll get one more." We do that quote all the time in this house. It's ridiculous.
What is? You think you need one more?
You think we need one more? You think we need one more? All right, we'll
Like,
get one more.
like for drinks? Like for drinks, you say you think you need one more. Yeah.
No, it just just randomly, if anything even sounds like that, we just do the quote, whatever. Anyway, I could watch it 3 times a week. It's also 3.75 stars for me. And if you did enjoy it, especially Amy, when you haven't watched it in a while, I would recommend watching 12 and 13. It is
Yeah, I do want to see them.
There's a lot of fun stuff in those films. I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, like 12 is more closer. I don't want to give it a 3 because that's too low, but it's definitely not a 3.5 for me.
Yeah.
13's a little bit higher than whatever 12 is, but not a
Thir-
also not quite a
13's
3.5.
13's worth it for the nose and for the Malloy twins going to Mexico and starting the revolution.
Starting the revolution.
It is hilarious. There are hilarious parts in it.
Yeah, it's
No.
a little over the top, but
Sure.
I haven't seen either of those.
they're fun if you have
Okay.
the time.
All right. But Ocean's 11 is also not on a streaming service, so you have
Nope.
to rent it or get it from the library
Oh,
or
just one
be like
quick thing.
Joel and have them all.
Right. Natasha, her observation during this again, she's like, Ruben reminds me of Frank.
I didn't have enough time because I had to rush on here. I was going to put a picture of Frank over Ruben in one of the scenes. Because yes, Frank, you would totally play Ruben. We said the same exact thing.
Next week, we're going to review the original Jurassic Park from 1993. It's this weekend actually was released to theaters for 30th anniversary in 3D, which it was once before. I know, Joel. It
I
wasn't
know, Joel.
3D. And if you didn't make it to the movie this past weekend, then you can see it on Hulu where it is streaming, or you can rent it, you know. But it really should be in your collection. Jurassic Park is brilliant.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are we done?
Apparently, you just did the review for next week. What are we going to
Yeah.
do after that?
Oh yeah,
In 2
No,
weeks.
all 5 of us say 4 stars. We're skipping next week. All right. So the funny thing was, all right, I'm done. I'm Frank Gaffney. No, I wanted to say that, you know, when Mark says stuff like, you know, we do that quote all the time, there's this whole thing in Sonia, Vanya, Masha, and Spike where the character says that we don't have those kind of shared experiences anymore, where because everything is, there's so many options, everything is so diffuse that, you know, not everybody is watching All in the Family on Saturday. You know, that kind of, everybody is doing it all at once. So those kind of quotes, like the great movie quotes, are they're not so prevalent anymore because people
There's
aren't
so
picking
much
up
to
on it in the same way. There's just too many. Like what is a quote from a current anything, SNL, anything? I don't know any current quotes from any movies or TV shows like we would do in, you know, every day at school.
Get your wife's name out my
Oh,
Yeah.
out your fucking mouth.
yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
It's true, but you also have to factor in we're older.
Yeah.
Younger people have different things that they are into at this point. Things that we think of, oh, you know, these are movie quotes that we all know left and right because
but I
of
would
those
even
shared
see-
experiences. They don't have those. They don't care about, you know, of all the
Right.
gym joints and all the world and blah 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 blah.
Right. But I'm saying like now, where are they getting their quotes from?
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's on TikTok.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Because-
Andy, it's more about watching a certain video on TikTok or whatever. Oh my god, you gotta check it out. That's their version
Yeah.
of a quote.
Yeah.
When we had the company party at the end of the Addams Family, and the tech crew did a sketch parody of the production, and
Cute.
it was very cute. It was very funny, but the cast, I'm sitting in a corner with my producer and my wife and the choreographer and the music director who's not even 30, all and Lou, and we're all like, what are they screaming at? They're all yelling like shake and bake, and we're like, what the fuck does that mean? You know,
What is shake and bake? What is
shake and bake? It's a powder that you put in a bag and you throw a pork chop in, and
Yeah,
you.
no, shake
Oh,
and
he
bake.
knows
Yeah, I don't know what they don't know from that.
Oh,
I don't know what, we're all looking at each other like, what the hell are they, what is this?
I wonder what they mean though.
So it's probably a TikTok. Nobody would tell us.
Yeah.
Even my
Ah.
son seemed to be,
Right,
you know,
fine.
out of
So
context.
you're saying that they're still doing it, we just don't know the reference.
We're
I
old to
think
know the
so.
references. Yeah.
Interesting. But even in in articles and stuff, you would see those kinds of quotes and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm just saying we don't. I really do believe we don't really have those kind of shared experiences anymore, and
Correct.
it's
We don't.
sad.
It's sad. And,
All
and I
right,
think
kids,
at this
that's
point,
it. Ending on that
well, I
note.
was about to say at this point, our fan came back as, oh my God, they're still talking about
Yeah.
bullshit.
What did that have to do with the movie?
Right? Fast forward through that part. All right. I am Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie, which I'm going to do today. Yay.
Also with you.